Hello everyone, and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Kylo Ren 6-inch scale action figure. This figure is based off the character's appearance in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Packaging is what you've come to expect. The image on the lower right is an interesting one since he's looking right at you rather than off to the side, as these drawings usually are on these packages. At the back, there's that image once again. This is number 45 in the series. Growing more powerful on the dark side of the Force, Kylo Ren pursues his enemies with sinister determination. He will prove to Supreme Leader Snoke what he is truly capable of and will hunt down those who caused his defeat at Starkiller Base. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend a little bit of time, get this guy unboxed, and when we come back, we'll take a closer look at Kylo Ren. Alright, so here's Kylo Ren out of the packaging, and you can see that his costume has been mostly redesigned from The Force Awakens. Now, I don't know that I like this costume better. To me, the Force Awakens version with the mask and the hood and all that just looked a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more scary, a little darker. But it is nice to see that they changed the costume for The Last Jedi, and I kind of feel like it has more of a medieval look to it. The overall proportions of the figure are looking good. The aesthetics are looking good. You can see that he does have a sculpted cape, and I like what they did with it overall. I think it has a very nice aesthetic to it. It has a very nice drape to it. Just something that you can't quite capture with soft goods. Of course, there are pros and cons to having or to not having soft goods, and we'll take a closer look at that in just a bit. First, let's take a close-up look at his head. So to me, this looks like an overall improvement from the previous release that Hasbro did in the 6-inch line with the unmasked head. Even though I felt like that was a very good sculpt, this to me just looks so much better. They really did a good job capturing Adam Driver's likeness, and like with the previous figure, there's an asymmetrical jawline, and that is correct for Adam Driver. And I just like the look of it overall. It's painted more nicely than the last one. One of the biggest issues I had with that other one was that the plastic was kind of translucent-y looking. It just would look too waxy. In this case, that's not the case at all. I don't know if they painted the flesh tone or if they actually cast it in this more flesh tone looking plastic, but it's a little bit darker. It looks better overall. And the lips are really nice. You can see they're kind of like a pinkish sort of color. The eyes look pretty nice, very nicely painted, very nice and straight. You can see that scar on his face that was inflicted by Rey at the end of the last film. And they didn't paint it, but it's definitely visible. So I don't know if they should have painted it. Maybe it would have looked a little better, stood out a little more, or too much. But from all angles, this really looks good. I like the hair sculpting on here. It's very nicely done. I mean, the profile of the character. And again, that hair just looks really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and take the cape off. That way we can facilitate looking at this. But it's really nice looking. I think it looks fantastic. It's got a very leather look about it. And I'm just really pleased with it. Now, as far as the cape itself, it's not quite as stiff as what we got with Director Krennic last year. This is a much softer cape. It feels like vinyl almost. But I just love the texturing on it and the sculpt work on it and the coloring that they applied to it. You know, sort of this, it's kind of like a matte, I guess you'd call it like a really deep brown, like a leathery looking color, but it really helps to create that leathery look about the cape. So that's pretty awesome. It's a little more glossy on the inside, but from the outside, I just think it looks magnificent. So I'm going to put that aside, bring Mr. Ren back. And you can see that his outfit looks really good. The shirt looks very similar to The Force Awakens. It still has that textured look to it, that ribbed look to the sleeves and the gloves. Very similar there. The belt looks to be the same from the previous film. Now the difference here, of course, is that the bottom of his tunic doesn't go quite as low as it did in the last film. The last film, I think it went past his knees or a little bit or something. So this isn't the case at all here. So that's kind of cool. Also, the pants that he's wearing, you can see that they're actually brown, like a very dark brown. They're not quite black like they were before. The boots actually appear to be the same, though, from The Force Awakens. Kind of have that Anakin Skywalker sort of boot look to them. I don't know if that's deliberate or not. But overall, I think it's a really good-looking figure. Now, for articulation, Kylo Ren does have a ball joint at the top of the head, and that goes into the neck, which you can see is a swivel joint, so that does bend down, and it goes down pretty far. It goes down pretty far, up not so much. When you have the cape on there, it doesn't go up quite as much either. because that kind of restricts it. You can't really tilt it all that much, but he's got side to side, ball hinging at both of the shoulders, no restrictions there. You can bend both the elbows, you can rotate them. Same with the wrists, rotate them. And both of the hands actually swivel up and down rather than forward and back. So that's an interesting choice there. He has a ball joint here at the torso, kind of lets you get him to these kind of weird positions like that. And you can rotate it. Pretty nice. Ball hinging at both of the hips, though you're not going to really do much of a split here because it does get hindered from his tunic right there. So you're not really going to get much out of that. Forward, they actually do go forward quite a bit despite the tunic sort of restricting it a little bit. Cuts at both of the thighs, double bends at both of the knees, and at both of the ankles you have that bend, and you also have rocker rotations. I kind of feel like, especially the right one here, like they're a little bit loose, like they could be a little bit more firm. But overall, very nice movement and pretty much in line with anything else in the 6-inch Black series. So for accessories, you get 2 of them. The first one is this unlit lightsaber, and it's basically just the KYLO REN lightsaber hilt, nothing too fancy. It looks pretty good, has a little bit of paint detail on it. Looks about as good as you can expect. And then you also have the ignited lightsaber blade with the 3 blades, and it looks good. They did resculpt it this time around for The Last Jedi. Last time it was a little more pointy on the 3 blades, and it looks good. I think it looks a little more erratic this time around. And the hilt, same thing as the unlit hilt. It's got a little bit of paint detail on it. Looks pretty good. I like those little details there. And due to the way that Hasbro packs these in the boxes, you can see that the blade is totally warped. Awful. And he can hold his lightsaber in 2 hands, and he can hold it with the cape on. Now, the issue with the plastic cape is, although it looks really good, it does kind of restrict your posing options. So for maximum posability, you're going to want to remove the cape. That way you can get him to look a little bit more dynamic and not have the restrictions that the cape imposes. Now, Walmart at some point this year is going to be releasing their exclusive version of this figure. It's going to come with both the masked and the unmasked head, and it's going to have a soft goods cape. When the time comes, we'll definitely pick that up too and see how it compares to this version. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series KYLO REN 6-inch action figure from The Last Jedi. Overall, you guys, I really like the figure. I think that it is a better figure than what we got for The Force Awakens, either the masked version or the unmasked version. The aesthetics look good. They really did Adam Driver justice this time around, just like we've been seeing on the other 6-inch Black Series figures recently. They've been looking really good. Hasbro is getting better, and that's really nice to see. I really do like the aesthetics here. I think the sculpt work is fantastic. The likeness to Adam Driver is terrific. Paint looks really nice. The articulation is really good on the figure. You can get him into some really nice poses. I really do like the look of the cape, but it does kind of restrict his ability to be posed. But nevertheless, he does look good with the cape on or off. It's really nice that you get both an ignited and an unignited lightsaber. They look really good. Nice little paint details on both. It's just too bad that the lightsaber is packed in a way that gets it a little bit warped in the package. Other than that, though, this is a solid figure. Like I said, Walmart has their exclusive version coming, so I am looking forward to that. But I'm glad that I picked this one up, especially because I really like the look of the sculpted cape. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do give us a like, do subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to the Cantina Chatter podcast on iTunes. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.